Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. As a Man Thinketh is a little book written by James Allen 100 years ago. And James Allen called mankind master thinkers. And he named his book As a Man Thinketh. Mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind. And evermore he takes the tool of thought, and shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment is but his looking glass. Well, Bob Proctor used a lot of James Allen's work, and he said, the body is the servant of the mind. It obeys the operation of the mind, whether they be deliberately chosen or automatically expressed. Your thoughts become things. You think a thought, and then you stay in that state of mind, that state of being. You get emotionally attached to an idea, and more thoughts are attracted to it, more thoughts in the same vibrational range, the same frequency, and thus you attract to you what you want and what you're afraid of, what you deeply desire and what you are terribly worried about, good and bad. It's when you attach emotion to your thinking, when your thoughts make you upset, worried, stressed, anxious, you attract more circumstances that cause more thoughts that are in the same realm, the same alignment, the same frequency. It can be measured. So when you're not feeling good, when your thoughts are scaring you, when you're thinking things that are worrisome, you want to stop going in that direction. You want to notice what you're thinking and go the opposite direction. That takes noticing, it takes practice, it takes willing yourself to let go, giving yourself permission to let go of the negative thoughts, the scary thoughts, the thoughts of worry and doubt and anxiety, and spend more time relaxed, thinking of what you love, thinking of peace and joy, and not thinking about it, but getting so emotionally involved that that becomes your state of being. You are healthy, you are happy, you are calm, you are free to think whatever you want. Let go of all the programming, all the things that people said about you, said to you, thought of you, because that is a reflection of who the other person is. Your thoughts can take you to beautiful places. Your thoughts can take you to peace and calm in the midst of war and violence. Your thoughts can change your life. I knew a man who used to live in war-torn Africa who was kidnapped and put in the trunk of his car. And he used these principles and remained calm when he started to think of all the things that the rebels could do to him, to his children, to his family, to his wife. Of course, he was scared out of his wits, but he put himself into a calm state of being on purpose. He thought of all the things that were going well in his life, all the good, all the wonderful things, he did not allow his thoughts to process what was happening in the moment. He chose to think beautiful, happy thoughts. And instead of being tortured and killed, he was released out of town and left to walk back. Nothing happened to him. But when we focus on how horrible things could be, when we let our minds go to the worst, we attract the worst. When we allow ourselves to think about what we do want and we get into that state of being, miracles happen. You are saved, you are protected, you are guided. That takes practice. That takes focusing every day on what do you want? How happy, how joyful, how lovely this world is. Yes, you can point to all kinds of wars and violence and sickness and disease and unfairness. But if you can draw that into your life as easily as thinking about it and being emotionally attached to it, why wouldn't you do the opposite and think beautiful thoughts? Think thoughts of love, joy, happiness, prosperity. Not only prosperity for yourself and not a bag of money. What would you be doing if you didn't have to worry about money? If you didn't have to worry that someone might steal it from you, take it from you? What would you be spending your money on? What would you be investing it in? How would you feel if you took millions of dollars and built a hospital or a daycare or a homeless shelter or a food bank where you built a legacy that people would say, wow, look how this city, this town, this world has changed because this person cared enough to invest in people, in projects, in making the world a more beautiful place. Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest men in history, built libraries and beautiful gardens so that people had things to enjoy. And they were free for everyone to enjoy. What would you do if you didn't have to worry about anything in life? There's always things that we're not going to like. There's always things that we could worry about, or we could take our lives in the other direction and imagine beauty and peace and joy and purpose and fulfillment. What fulfills you? In As a Man Thinketh, James Allen writes, the body is the servant of the mind. It obeys the operations of the mind, whether they be deliberately chosen or automatically expressed. At the bidding of unlawful thoughts, the body sinks rapidly into disease and decay. At the command of glad and beautiful thoughts, it becomes clothed with youthfulness and beauty. Disease and health, like circumstances, are rooted in thought. Sickly thoughts will express themselves through a sickly body. Thoughts of fear have been known to kill a man as speedily as a bullet, and they are continually killing thousands of people just as surely, though less rapidly. The people who live in fear of disease are the people who get it. Anxiety quickly demoralizes the whole body and it lays it open to the entrance of disease. while impure thoughts, even if not physically indulged, will soon shatter the nervous system. Strong, pure, and happy thoughts build up the body in vigor and grace. The body is a delicate and plastic instrument which responds readily to the thoughts by which it is impressed, and habits of thought will produce their own effects, good or bad. James Allen says men will continue to have impure and poisoned blood so long as they propagate unclean thoughts. Out of a clean heart comes a clean life and a clean body. Out of a defiled mind proceeds a defiled life and corrupt body. Thought is the font of action, life, and manifestation. Make the fountain pure, and all will be pure. He goes on to say a change of diet will not help a man who will not change his thoughts. When a man makes his thoughts pure, he no longer desires impure food. Clean thoughts make clean habits. The so-called saint who does not wash his body is not a saint. He who has strengthened and purified his thoughts does not need to consider the malevolent microbe. If you would perfect your body, guard your mind. If you would renew your body, beautify your mind. Thoughts of malice, envy, disappointment, despondency, and anxiety rob the body of its health and grace. A sour face does not come by chance, it is made by sour thoughts. Wrinkles that mar are drawn by folly, passion, pride. He goes on to say, I know a woman of 69 who has the bright, innocent face of a girl. I know a man well under middle age whose face is drawn into inharmonious contours. The woman's face is the result of a sweet and sunny disposition. The other is the outcome of passion and discontent. As you cannot have a sweet and wholesome abode unless you admit the air and sunshine freely into your rooms, so a strong body and a happy, bright, or serene countenance can only result from the free admittance into the mind of thoughts of joy, goodwill, and serenity. And then he wrote a chapter on serenity, because when you practice serenity, you give up anxiety and fear, worry and doubt. When you practice serenity, you attract to you faith, well-being. You become at ease, and then you can create whatever your heart desires. The first step is allowing yourself to relax, not constantly doing, not keeping your body in constant motion, but allowing rest, relaxation, a wave of joy to spread through you because you're focused on love. And think of the word love, the letters Love. If you imagine that they stand for law of vibrational energy, you can remind yourself that when you love yourself, when you love life, life loves you, and everything comes in the right time, at the right place, when you are in the state of being that attracts love and joy. The purposeful work that you can do passes time so it doesn't even feel like work. So now I'm going to read the chapter Serenity. I want you to just surrender to these words. Allow the beauty of these words to just wash over you. Allow you to calm your body and your mind so that you can be filled with the love and the strength to carry you through whatever happens today. This is Serenity by James Allen. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the result of long and patient effort in self-control. Its presence is an indication of ripened experience and of a more than ordinary knowledge of the laws and operations of thought. A man becomes calm in the measure that he understands himself as a thought-evolved being. For such knowledge necessitates the understanding of others as a result of thought. And as he develops a right understanding and more clearly the internal relations of things by the action of cause and effect, he ceases to fuss and fume and worry and grieve and remains poised, steadfast, serene. The calm man, having learned how to govern himself, knows how to adapt himself to others, and they in turn reverence his spiritual strength and feel that they can learn of him and rely upon him. The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater is his success, his influence, his power for good. Even the ordinary trader will find his business prosperity increase as he develops a greater self-control and equanimity, for people will always prefer to deal with a man whose demeanor is strongly equable. The strong, calm man is always loved and revered. He is like a shade-giving tree in a thirsty land, or a sheltering rock in a storm. Who does not love a tranquil heart, a sweet-tempered, balanced life? It does not matter whether it rains or shines, or what changes come to those possessing these blessings, for they are always sweet, serene, and calm. That exquisite poise of character which we call serenity is the last lesson of culture, the fruitage of the soul. It is precious as wisdom, more to be desired than gold, yea, than even fine gold. How insignificant mere money-seeking looks in comparison with a serene life, a life that dwells in the ocean of truth, beneath the waves, beyond the reaches of the tempests, in the eternal calm. How many people we know who sour their lives, who ruin all that is sweet and beautiful by explosive tempers, who destroy their poise of character and make bad blood. It is a question whether the great majority of people do not ruin their lives and mar their happiness by lack of self-control. How few people we meet in life who are well balanced, who have that exquisite poise which is characteristic of the finished character. Yes, humanity surges with uncontrolled passion, is tumultuous with ungoverned grief, is blown about by anxiety and doubt. Only the wise man, only he whose thoughts are controlled and purified, makes the winds and the storms of the soul obey him. Tempest-tossed souls, wherever ye may be, Under whatsoever conditions you may live, know this: in the ocean of life, the isles of blessedness are smiling, and the sunny shore of your ideal awaits your coming. Keep your hand firmly upon the helm of thought. In the bark of your soul reclines the commanding master. He does but sleep. Wake him. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. Say unto your heart, peace, be still. Peace, be still. James Allen says the dreamers are the saviors of the world. As the visible world is sustained by the invisible, so mankind, through all their trials and sins and sordid vocations, are nourished by the beautiful visions of the solitary dreamers. Humanity cannot forget its dreamers. It cannot let their ideals fade and die. It lives in them. It knows them as the realities which it shall one day see and know. Composer, sculptor, painter, poet, prophet, sage, these are the makers of the afterworld, the architects of heaven. The world is beautiful because they have lived. Without them, laboring humanity would perish. He who cherishes a beautiful vision, a lofty ideal in his heart, will one day realize it. Columbus cherished a vision of another world, and he discovered it. Copernicus fostered the vision of a multiplicity of worlds and a wider universe, and he revealed it. Buddha beheld the vision of a spiritual world of stainless beauty and perfect peace, and he entered into it. Cherish your visions, cherish your ideals, cherish the music that stirs in your heart, the beauty that forms in your mind, the loveliness that drapes your purest thoughts, for out of them will grow all delightful conditions, all heavenly environment. Of these, if you but remain true to them, your world will at last be built. To desire is to obtain, to aspire is to achieve. Shall man's basest desires receive the fullest measure of gratification, and his purest aspirations starve for lack of sustenance? Such is not the law. Such a condition of things can never obtain. Ask and receive. Dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, so shall you become. Your vision is the promise of what you shall one day be. Your ideal is the prophecy of what you shall at last unveil. The greatest achievement was at first and for a time a dream. The oak sleeps in the acorn, the bird waits in the tree, and in the highest vision of the soul, a waking angel stirs. Dreams are the seedlings of realities. Your circumstances may be uncongenial, but they shall not long remain so if you but perceive an ideal and strive to reach it. You cannot travel within and stand still without. Here is a youth hard pressed by poverty and labor, confined long hours in an unhealthy workshop, unschooled and lacking all the arts of refinement, but he dreams of better things. He thinks of intelligence, of refinement, of grace, of beauty. He conceives of, mentally builds up an ideal condition of life. The vision of a wider liberty and a larger scope takes possession of him. Unrest urges him to action, and he utilizes all his spare time and means, small though they are, to the development of his latent powers and resources. Very soon, so altered has his mind become that the workshop can no longer hold him. It has become so out of harmony with his mentality that it falls out of his life just as a garment is cast aside. And with the growth of opportunities which fit the scope of his expanding powers, he passes out of it forever. Years later, we see this youth a full-grown man. We find him a master of certain forces of the mind, which he wields with worldwide influence and almost unequaled power. In his hands, he holds the cords of gigantic responsibilities. He speaks, and lo, lives are changed. Men and women hang upon his words and remold their characters. And sun-like, he becomes the fixed and luminous center around which innumerable destinies revolve. He has realized the vision of his youth. He has become one with his ideal. And you too will realize the vision, not the idle wish of your heart. Whatever it is, base or beautiful, or a mixture of both, for you will always gravitate toward that which you secretly most love. Into your hands will be placed the exact results of your own thoughts. You will receive that which you earn, no more, no less. Whatever your present environment may be, you will fall, remain, or rise with your thoughts, your vision, your ideal. You will become as small as your controlling desire, as great as your dominant aspiration. What is it that you desire? The vision that you glorify in your mind, the ideal that you enthrone in your heart, this you will build your life by. This you will become. My wish for you is that you experience in physical reality the desire that you hold in your heart. And through the laws of the universe, it must happen. Spend more time in the state of being that which you prefer, and automatically your life becomes that. Create a wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I'll see you back here Monday morning at 7. Thank you.